This is the Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
And I'm Jamie.
And we love movies.
I'm sure that'll, we can put it together at some point. Make it sound like
I'm sure that'll sound good. Jamie, so good to see you this week.
Yeah. I'm
We've
here.
missed you.
Still alive. Hey, James. So, there's a lot of things people don't tell you about having a baby.
Oh, no.
Have you ever heard of something called cluster feeding?
No,
this is when
Do
the
I
baby
wanna know?
randomly decides to feed every 20 minutes or so for, 2 to 3 or more days straight without a break. So just a heads up there, because that's the kind of thing they don't tell you. But we're surviving over here.
Okay, when you say cluster feeding, I got kind of scared. Like multiple babies were just merging onto your
God.
property and looking for food.
That is terrifying. If we could write a horror movie, if I could write a horror movie, that would be my horror movie. That sounds terrifying.
Well, you may be able to. Maybe you can make that horror movie soon.
Okay.
And appear in it.
Well, we got plenty of things to talk about, including a horror movie, a Marvel horror movie, among other things. So what are we talking about today, James?
So today, of course, we are going to tackle our local casting calls. Some really cool stuff. As we mentioned last week, Frills looking for more and more people, so more casting calls. We had a really cool celebrity sighting this past week in Boston at Boston Common. Kevin Bacon, he's filming. No big deal, just doing some filming down over here, so that's pretty
dancing?
cool. Hopefully he's dancing. I'm not sure. It seems like a very serious drama that he's filming, but they could always squeeze in dancing. We are going to be talking about not only the sequel to Doctor Strange, Into the Multiverse of Madness, but we have new developments of who may be directing it, and also some Comic-Con stuff we'll get to, and some also what did I watch? Birds of Prey. We'll be reviewing Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Yes, I'm looking forward to what you thought of it, because I have some misgivings, but I want to see, whether you think it's worth it.
Yeah.
But first, what is going on in Massachusetts and the surrounding areas where people can get their lovely faces, on the big screen?
Yeah, so if you're still looking to find your big break in a big Disney film, don't worry. You still have your chance. You have plenty of opportunities, apparently. Now, under the working title of Frills, Disney, they are looking for several things. The first, we are beginning with a photo double for a girl. Now, what Disney, or Boston Casting, rather, is looking for is a girl 9 to 15 years old, around 3'10" to 4'2", around 50 to 75 pounds, and they are shooting, the shoot dates are February 10th through the 13th, and then the 19th to the 21st. And then that follows up with another shoot between March 3rd and March 6th. They will be shooting not only in Boston, but south of Boston. So Boston Casting, they're asking you to submit your photos, your name, your date of birth, height, weight. You can email all that to bostoncastingfrills@gmail.com. That's Boston Casting, FRILLS @gmail.com. Now, another thing that we're looking for this feature film, we're looking for SAG extras for multiple shoot dates. And for these shoots, you have to be at every shoot date. So this is a big commitment. They are shooting from February 10th through the 13th, and then picking up again on the 19th and 23rd. Shooting takes place in Weymouth. And this is also through Boston Casting. So go ahead, if you haven't signed up already, if you are a SAG member, sign up through Boston Casting. Not only can you have the opportunity to be an extra, do extra work for Frills, but also other movies down the road. Again, Massachusetts, Boston area, we are no longer a stranger to the big film industry now, right?
We are Hollywood East, James, and there is so much work coming that several of the casting agencies have just put out like blanket emails like, hey, we have so much work and not enough people, sign up now. And I believe Frills, the actual title of the film is Godmother or something like that.
Yeah, it's either the word is it's either Godmother or Godmothered. So as a verb. So that's yet to be officially announced, but yeah, that's what it looks like right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the local casting calls, the big ones for this week. So if you feel like you fit any of those descriptions of a little girl or an extra background actor, go ahead and reach out to Boston Casting. Also, if you know anybody who fits that description, let them know. Maybe that could be their big break also.
Yeah. It's good money. And hey, if you get booked for all of those shoot dates and you're not already SAG, or, if you get opportunities to film for multiple shoot dates, I believe you only need 3 or 4 in order to become SAG-AFTRA eligible. So, I mean, it's a great opportunity, and that means you make a little bit extra money. A lot extra money, actually. So, do it. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and talking about how Massachusetts and Boston is no longer a stranger to the film industry, we just had a big local movie and TV star to his own right filming here in Boston, at specifically around Boston Common, Kevin Bacon.
Oh my God.
Kevin Bacon was in town. Yeah, of Footloose fame and of countless other movies. And so our own Karen Riegel with WBC, she went down there to where they were shooting and took some awesome pictures of Kevin Bacon. I'm looking at some right now. Now, according to WBZ News Radio 1030, Boston City Hall Plaza was swarming with cameras, actors, and TV production crews Wednesday afternoon. Actor Kevin Bacon was seen filming scenes for the hit Showtime show City on a Hill, which is currently shooting its 2nd season and is expected to come out later this year. Jamie, have you seen Karen's photos?
I have, and we should probably retweet those. So our folks who follow us on the Hub on Hollywood, check that out, and because it's really neat. He's obviously not as young as his Footloose days, but
he can still move.
He looks.
He can still dance.
He's got this gravitas to him. So he's kind of a gritty investigator, right? And it just looked really neat.
Yeah. So Bacon, he's playing an FBI veteran who focuses on taking down a family of armored car thieves from Charlestown. And so, of course, yeah. So this is the 2nd season, premiering in June of last year, with an average of 3.5 million viewers per episode. So kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal, James. Just like us, we're kind of a big deal.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. But
Speaking of big deals,
go ahead.
We had a major motion picture, huge smash hit in the box office, that may be getting a sequel, and it was filmed and shot entirely here in Massachusetts, at several locations. Knives Out, James.
Knives. Really quick, can you believe that they announced this so quickly, that they're planning to make a sequel just after this past year it came out?
Well, it was such a tremendous success, and more uniquely, it was a success in that it was a new film. Completely original idea, original story from the mind of Rian Johnson, my boyfriend. And that doesn't happen often. All we've got are remakes, James. So many remakes. And so this is something that is completely brand new. It was a tremendous hit globally. I believe they hit the $1 billion mark at this point. So it looks like they are not only going to be getting a sequel, but a series. And that's where I'm a little, I feel like this first movie was so succinct and so perfect and so funny and so wonderful. Is it going to be diluted if they make 2 or 3 of these? Why do they got to ruin it with, so many iterations? Why they got to do that, James?
I understand that point, but I'm looking forward to it just for the fact that, Rian Johnson will be at the helm. Daniel Craig, he spoke so much about how much he loved the character that he played. And so it was really no surprise that a sequel was announced or approved. He was talking about wanting to refill that role as the detective. Who goes around, interviewing everybody, interrogating everybody, and cracking it. And so he had a lot of fun with the role itself. So I'm not surprised that Daniel wanted a sequel also, or supported one. And with 2 people that are passionate not only about the film with Rian Johnson and the characters, but also Daniel Craig and his passion for his own role and performance in that. They knocked one out of the park. I'm confident that they can do it again. Yeah. Especially, again, if that passion stays there, the same writing, the same pacing, the same feel and atmosphere. The things that made the first film fun, if they can do that again, I think it'll be a smash hit.
And so these films are going to be focusing on Daniel Craig specifically, the last of the gentleman, investigators, sleuths, with his southern drawl and puffing on his cigars, and so he'll go on another adventure. And I think for Rian Johnson, who's a big Agatha Christie fan, her tales of mystery and scandal and whatnot. I just think I'm really happy for him to have that opportunity. I'm really happy for all of us to see, what stories Daniel Craig is going to be able to tell, because Lord knows he's done with 007. Yeah. He has said that in the past, and I think he's going to be very happy to be putting James Bond away and unpackaging this. It seemed like he had a lot of fun with it.
It also gives him more range, I think, just because, again, the playing with the accent and the character. He loved that character, and that was one of the strongest aspects to the film. A lot of strong points to the film, but Daniel Craig was definitely one of the top tier things to go see and enjoy about it.
So here's hoping that they come back to Massachusetts, because they did a great job here, and I really want to be in it again.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. So, do you get a phone call from Rian Johnson? Hey. Yeah,
I'm going to start tweeting at him now.
Do it. Yeah, no, I'm not even joking. Hey, and send all the screenshots of your feet and hands and all their driving capabilities.
Yeah, in a non-creepy way. Be like, remember me? Remember?
Well, and I guess that does depend if the nurse from the first movie comes back.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm
if
sure
they
she'll have a
cast any
cameo.
other Cubans, I can, I'll be here. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready, Ryan. For whatever you need. Okay, at the drop of a hat, I'm there. Okay, it's your BFF.
Well, speaking of stars coming to Massachusetts, I think it'd be a good time to announce that we will be going this March to Ace Comic-Con.
Very excited, yes.
And not only will we be going, now that alone is reason to shout and celebrate, but also some of our favorite Marvel characters and Star Wars friends are coming to Massachusetts, coming to Boston. We are looking at Chris Evans, Tom Hiddleston, Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Shamik Moore, who plays Miles Morales in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse rather, and there are more people being announced. But we got press passes to go check this out.
And hopefully we can get some interviews, and that's going to be really exciting. So join us then, and it's going to be our first out and about follow Jamie and James as we. So do you know what you're going to wear?
I'm debating whether to wear my Marvel stuff or my Star Wars stuff. There's a way to combine and stitch them together, maybe. But how awesome would it be to interview Ewan McGregor? I think all Chris Evans too. He's top tier A-list celebrity, but McGregor, I got a soft spot in my heart for him.
Oh my God, Ewan! Hello there.
Hello there.
We love Ewan. Oh, speaking of Ewan, just a small sidetrack. The Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, or rather the television show. We've been hearing that it's been delayed. We're not sure what's going on with that. Bob Iger over at Disney has said that they're slowing down the Star Wars franchise and that's going really well. But there's some rumblings that they've slowed down on Obi-Wan as a TV show because that might be the next movie that's coming out. They might make it into a movie.
I know they did recently talk about how, they did scale down or slow down or stop production, rather, for several reasons, including finding a new writer. They wrote two of 6 episodes that were originally planned, and then they didn't like the direction that it was going in, and so they decided to look for a different writer, put the production on pause, and reduce the number of episodes from 6 to 4. And so it is possible, talks can still, continue, and maybe it is possible that this could be, not reduced but made into a movie. But as of right now, the current word is 4 episodes. They're looking for new writers. However, Ewan McGregor, he says, he's not worried at all. He came out and did an interview with ET Entertainment talking about how, there's no reason to be afraid, that he's really excited to do the production still or do the project. So, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Oh my God, we love Ewan so much. And the other, Star Wars, the future of Star Wars, close to our hearts. Everybody's baby Yoda, The Mandalorian 2, has a release date, October of this year. Very exciting.
Now, do you think this is quick, or I wasn't expecting season 2 to come out so quickly?
I don't know. We may get a shorter season, just like the first season, but with every episode being like its own kind of self-contained mini movie. I really liked how they did that the first time around, and that might be why they're able to turn it around so quickly. But Disney's got all the money in the world, so it can be that they're pumping it out because that is the anchor for their Disney Plus streaming service. I believe there was quite a precipitous drop-off of people ditching their Disney Plus once The Mandalorian season 1 was over, so they want to make sure that they're maintaining that. And there's a bunch of other series that are coming out that they're counting on. They've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming out in August, WandaVision coming out in December. These are all Marvel properties, and that's all going to be on Disney Plus. So they're pumping it up, James.
Now, talking about pumping it up and pumping things out, I'm a little concerned, though, just because, I am very excited to have more Mandalorian sooner than later. However, yes. According to The Verge, talking about, the release date or the announcement that we're going to be getting Season 2 coming in October, no exact date set yet. However, the company is reportedly promoting its, of course, Baby Yoda return, but also teasing potential Mandalorian spin-offs. And that's where I'm a little concerned. Already? Because I know exactly, because we've already been introduced to many new great characters in The Mandalorian. However, if they're already looking at how to squeeze every penny out of The Mandalorian, I think this is a bad move. I think they should just slow down and focus on The Mandalorian itself and focus on writing and creating a good story with a good arc that continues where we're going on this path of, this journey between Mando and Baby Yoda and all the other characters involved. If they start throwing in all these different spin-offs and different shows, I think that's just going to what Disney was afraid of before, saturating the market with Disney every year. I think this would be a mistake to add, just to, dilute the success of The Mandalorian.
It's only been one season. I mean, are there any characters in there that we desperately want to know more about already? Like, the story hasn't even fleshed itself out. So, I hope they don't decide to go in that direction. I really love the slow, steady pace of The Mandalorian. We've talked about this before. It's kind of like an old-timey Western, and I love that they're letting it breathe and that it feels so Star Wars and it's so immersive and they're taking their time with it. I would like to see that continue.
Yeah, I think they're going to go in that direction. Again, according to The Verge, Disney has a lot of other Star Wars content lined up for Disney Plus in the coming years, as well as a new show starring Rogue One's Cassian Andor, who's played by Diego Luna in Rogue One. And so I loved the gritty feel of Rogue One. That one felt like one of the more Star Wars-y films of recent years. And so I think they get what fans like. They like being immersed in this universe. But again, my concern is rushing out and pumping out too many other spin-offs or side projects that will dilute the success and the fun of what made The Mandalorian.
You tell him, James. You tell him. Don't spoil it.
Come on, Bob. We need to sit down and talk about this and hash this out.
Don't spoil it like they spoiled the end of The Rise of Skywalker. Anyway, I'm still bitter. I'm still bitter, James.
We still are.
Hold on.
Well, if you want to continue listening to our bitterness, please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to The Hub on Hollywood. We are on Instagram and Twitter. We're also on Facebook, so please give us a like and a share. If you're watching us right now, but you're on the go, you can listen to us on any major streaming service, including Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify. And, if you're listening to us and you want to watch my face, Jamie's beautiful face, and Ray over there, not Ray, Kylo Ren, we are also on YouTube. So please hit like, hit subscribe, share. Really does help out the podcast.
That's right. Hashtag save Ben Solo, hashtag bring Ben Solo back. Use the Force. Bye. Woo!
You're like, I don't want all these spin-offs, but we could bring back Kylo Ren for his own independent series. Is that
I
what I'm
would
hearing?
watch that every day. I'm 100% behind bringing Ben Solo back in some capacity, whether it's a comic book even or a TV, a cartoon or something like that. Like, I just want to see the continuation of that story. I think I think Disney really shot themselves in the foot by killing off that character. But you know what? I'm letting it go, James. I'm trying to let it go. Okay. All right,
Let it
bringing
go.
myself back to center. Yeah,
Let it go.
Disney owns that too.
Yeah.
So, you saw a movie, James, and I'm very excited to hear about it.
Yeah, so this one had a lot of big buzz going into it, especially coming off its I'm not sure if it's technically the follow-up or the sequel to Suicide Squad, but we are seeing the return of Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie. I saw Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
That is
What
long
a title. What a title. Well, this film, I did see it. It just came out this week. I saw it last night. So let's talk about it. It's rated R. It's an hour, 50 minutes long. It's the synopsis, the quick synopsis. It's about Harley Quinn just after splitting up with Joker. She joins Black Canary, Huntress, and Renee Montoya to save a young girl from a evil crime lord. Directed by Kathy Yan. Written by Christina Hodgson, who wrote Batgirl, who's written for The Flash on WBZ, and also wrote Bumblebee, which came out the past year or two, which also got some pretty good feedback. It stars Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, Rosie Perez as Renee Montoya, Marie Elizabeth Winstead as Huntress, which I'll talk about her in just a second, but she steals a lot of the scenes in there. Journey Smollett Bell, she plays Black Canary, and Ewan McGregor. We've been talking about him so much. He plays Roman Sionis, or also AKA Black Mask.
Yeah. He doesn't age either, Ewan.
He doesn't age. He just gets better with age, like a fine wine.
God, he can sing. He's handsome.
And he can wield a lightsaber. Like? What more do you want?
Oh, God.
Well, let me tell you. Well, this film is one of the better comic book movies in the DC EU, in the DC Extended Universe. The movie continues with the upward trend of enjoyability when it comes to the DC movies. I'm not sure how you felt with the previous ones, with Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel, Suicide Squad. Not the most popular comic book movies of late. Often being compared to Marvel movies and being, blown out of the water. But this movie feels like, Birds of Prey feels like what Suicide Squad should have been. It should have been fun, funny, with a mash of characters that don't get along but must get along to accomplish a common goal. But this one, I think they nailed everything that Suicide Squad should have been. The cast is great, but of course, Margot Robbie, she steals the show with her portrayal of Harley Quinn. There's really no other person right now that I could imagine portraying Harley Quinn with the zany, crazy, funny antics that she's able to do and convey. Even though the movie is called Birds of Prey and includes the rest of the cast, this is a Harley Quinn movie. This is her movie for her to shine and break away from the previous film that we saw, which I think didn't, even though she did great herself, Margot Robbie, I don't think it did the character too much justice. But the movie introduces new characters also that do shine. The movie follows a recently dumped Harley Quinn who tries to leave her own mark and come out from the Joker's shadow. Now, after news that she and the Joker are no longer together, that's when pretty much all hell breaks loose. Everybody that Harley Quinn has ever rubbed wrong in the past, they want to get her and pretty much kill her. However, she interacts with this character played by Ewan McGregor, a.k.a. Black Mask, and she pretty much, to save her own life, promises to help him catch this young girl who has stolen something from him. And then that's when hilarity and fun action ensues.
I think that's what's sorely missing from the DC universe. I think you touched on that. It's all those other films have been so dark, so depressing. Like, why is Superman killing people? And it's like, it doesn't leave you with anything. You know what I mean? So that's great that it sounds like they've started to tweak their recipe.
Yeah, and we are moving in a more positive direction. You know, after Shazam came out, after Wonder Woman came out, even Aquaman. Aquaman, I wasn't a fan of the length, but it was different tone and a lot more colorful, a lot more fun characters that you actually enjoyed. You know, seeing beat up bad people or villains, and this continues in that trajectory of enjoyable films to watch. Now, the movie looks great, talking about some of the pros and cons. The pros, the bright colors, it's very clear, very vibrant. The action scenes, there are multiple battles that go on, and they're very well choreographed. They are within camera frame, so you don't have the Jason Bourne kind of quick cuts and quick camera shaking. This is very well shot. It's fun. The style of the film, the feeling, the vibe of the film is being compared to Deadpool, very Deadpool-esque, with Harley Quinn being the narrator in the movie. So a lot of narration and even some actual like winks to the camera in the film, breaking that fourth wall. The cast, it's a grade A cast. They look like they're having a lot of fun. Ewan McGregor, of course, he's hamming it up as the villain, as the evil crime lord in this film, but he doesn't do it, excessively. The actress who I mentioned before, who plays Huntress, she eats up every scene, even though there wasn't a lot of development for her character. The scenes that she was in, she was the center of attention. And so I'm really excited to see where that character goes. Now, as for some of the cons, and there are just a few, but a few cons, the plot, very simple. It's pretty much a MacGuffin chase. People are trying to chase the MacGuffin. They're after the one thing, and then so that drives the plot along. Besides for Harley Quinn, however, when it comes to character development, the other characters, the other birds of prey that we see, not too much time is devoted to having their characters fleshed out. I imagine that's just because, again, this is Harley Quinn's movie, so she is the focal point, and what they're going to do, what I imagine with future films, is give these individual characters their own film or maybe even a stronger presence. And so in this film, I don't think their characters were given too much justice when it comes to development. The movie kind of sags in the middle. Again, the movie is an hour 50 minutes long, but I think it could have been, 10 minutes could have been shaved off. Other than that, I thought it was really good, a really fun movie. Again, if you want to watch badass women, badass girls, badass Harley Quinn beat up some dudes or beat up some people in general, I recommend this film.
Yeah, I gotta say my only kind of thing with this movie, with Harley Quinn in general and with Margot Robbie, is it feels, the character to me feels forced. I don't know if you get that, but like the accent, the way she talks, and just the way that it just kind of feels like forced and fake, like not a real person. And I know that she's supposed to be like, a little bit crazy and out of this world or whatever, and a larger than life kind of personality. It just falls fake to me is all.
Yeah,
not to say that this wouldn't be an entertaining film, but that kind of bothers me.
Yeah, I think some people will be a little too weirded out or may not buy into the whole thing. I was able to, and so I thought, I can't imagine anyone else playing Harley Quinn other than Margot Robbie. I mean, she goes all out and she gives it her all, and you can definitely see it in this film. Again, mentioning some of the action scenes, a lot of these scenes were shot in frame, and so these actors, Margot Robbie and the rest of the actresses, the birds of prey, looks like they're doing a lot of their own stunts as well. So I don't know. I give nothing but kudos. I personally think the performance was good, and yeah, I think this not the best DCEU movie. I still like Wonder Woman better. I think Shazam may be a better movie also than Birds of Prey, but this is still an enjoyable film. It's moving the DCEU in the right direction, and so I think if they can carry this forward or move this along, I think they'll kind of recover from the rough start that the extended universe had.
So you recommend it?
I recommend it.
Woo! How many stars? How many thumbs up? Or
let's see. Out of 5, I'll say, you know what? It's not great. It's not crazy great. I mean, I would say in between 3.5 and 4 stars out of 5.
That's very specific. So do you want to go with like 3.75?
No, 3.5. It's a
okay. All right,
flat 3.5. Yeah, no, but I recommend it. I think you'll enjoy it, and again, I think everybody looks like they're having a lot of fun making this movie. So I think that comes across the screen.
Awesome. You know who I think is a really great example of a villainess, who has magnificent stage presence and physicality, but does it like subtly and in a tremendously entertaining way, is the actress who plays Hela in Thor Ragnarok. Like, she is my favorite by far of the female villains who are just interesting and sassy and wonderful. And I think that's the gold standard when it comes to that. And one last thing, James, I just wanted to mention briefly, speaking of Marvel, Doctor Strange, the what was it, of Madness?
Into the Multiverse of Madness.
Into the Multiverse of Madness. Sam Raimi, is coming on, possibly, it looks like, as a director. As we know, this is the guy who helped launch the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. He revitalized Evil Dead and Poltergeist, and kind of brought a lot of these series back to life. He's a legend, and he is coming back for this.
Yeah, I'm really excited because Sam Raimi has, as you mentioned, with Evil Dead and other films, he has a history of mixing horror with I don't know. He knows how to make horror movies, is what I'm basically saying. Like, if you look back, and going back to other comic book movies, again, the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire, I still think, now it may falter off with the third final film. However, I think Spider-Man 2 is one of the best comic book movies still to date. Today, out of all the hundreds of apparent,
I think everyone kind of agrees on that.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, and one of my favorite parts of Spider-Man 2 is the villain, Dr. Otto Octavius, and one scene that sticks out, and it's so Sam Raimi to me feeling, is when Doc Ock is in the hospital and he has his arms and the doctors are trying to remove the metallic arms, but then it turns into, for the short few minutes, it turns into a horror film. If you look at that scene again, that is what a terrifying horror film is. This weird monster attacking all these different people at the same time, and nobody can escape, and nobody can help out each other. And I think he's able to mix, again, a great comic book movie with a lot of good fun, a lot of great action scenes, and a good sequences of horror. And so if he's able to do that again, which I wholeheartedly believe that he can and is capable of, I believe he's an invaluable asset to the Marvel universe, and especially for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, which, as we know, is going to be the first actual horror movie for Marvel. And I am very excited to see what that would look like, because everything up until now has just been, fun. Mostly, some robots killed a bunch of people, but it's been mostly fun up until now. So definitely looking forward to that. Yep. So much to look forward to, James. And we're done.
All right. Well, I think that's everything. Yeah. Do you feel good?
I feel great.
You feel great.
Happy
I feel
to be
great.
Back.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll be back. Hopefully, we'll be back next week. But we'll see. But thank you so much for Skyping in. I know you're from home. You just had your baby, and so so we know you have your hands full. So we appreciate this.
Thank you. Yeah, if I'm conscious, I'll be back next week.
All right, perfect. So hopefully you'll be back next week, either listening or watching to us here on the Hub on Hollywood. Again, as I mentioned, we are on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram at Hub on Hollywood. So please give us a follow, give us a share. Jamie, where can they hear us? Where can they watch us? iHeartRadio, everywhere that major podcasts are heard, you can hear us. And like James was saying, give us a like, give us a share, all of the above. It helps us tremendously so that we can continue to bring you everything that we love, that you love, continue the conversation, and have lots of fun. Looking forward to Ace Comic Con. That's going to be a blast. Yes. So yeah, tell us. Are you going to Ace Comic Con? Have you seen Birds of Prey? What do you think of the movie? What are you excited for? I mean, again, a lot of stuff going on. Are you interested in any of the casting calls? If you do reach out to the casting calls, let us know how that process goes too.
Yeah, If you get cast,
want to hear back.
We'd love to talk to you.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
I'm Jamie. See you next time.
And we'll see you next time.